You've probably experienced this before. You're standing right in front of someone you've met multiple times, and suddenly, their name is just gone, not even close to recall. It's like it was never stored at all. And the most stressful part isn't forgetting. It's the next few seconds where you're forced to improvise, hoping someone else says their name first or something conveniently interrupts the moment. It happens to almost everyone. But people who forget names often aren't careless, rude, or unintelligent. There's actually a clear psychological reason behind it, and once you understand it, the guilt fades. When you meet someone new, your brain is juggling a lot at once. You're reading their facial expressions, tone, and body language. You're figuring out the social context, thinking about what to say next, and maybe even wondering how you're coming across. All of this happens in your working memory, the part of the brain responsible for holding short-term information. Right in the middle of that mental overload, someone tells you their name. Hi, I'm Kevin. The problem? That name doesn't connect to anything. It's just a random sound with no meaning, no image, no emotional link. Your brain, already busy, doesn't prioritize it. There's actually a well-known concept in psychology that explains this, the Baker-Baker paradox. In one study, people remembered the word baker much more easily when it referred to a job than when it was someone's last name. Why? Because the occupation baker triggers associations, bread, ovens, early mornings. As a name, it means nothing. It has no hooks. Names are like that. They're empty labels. And your brain naturally holds on to things that carry meaning. Think about meaningful moments in your life. You remember emotions, details, and experiences, but not necessarily the exact wording of things or small formal details. That's because your brain filters information and keeps what feels important. Now here's where it gets more personal. Many people who frequently forget names are highly self-aware during social interactions, sometimes even anxious. While someone is introducing themselves, their mind is busy running an internal commentary. Am I making enough eye contact? Did I say the right thing? Am I being awkward? So even though the name is spoken, it barely registers before being drowned out by those thoughts. There's even a psychological phenomenon called the next-in-line effect. When people are waiting for their turn to speak, they often remember less of what was just said because their mind is already focused on what they'll say next. People with strong self-awareness or social anxiety often stay in that state constantly. So if you relate to this, it's not really a memory issue, it's a focus issue. Now, on the other side of this, there's something important too. Having your name forgotten can feel personal. It can come across as, I didn't matter enough to be remembered. Even if that's not true, that's how it can feel. But the reality is different. The person who forgot your name might remember the conversation you had, your opinions, your personality, or how you made them feel. They were present, just not for the name itself. Memory doesn't work like a recording device. It stores impressions, emotions, and patterns, not everything equally. Your brain keeps what feels meaningful and filters out what doesn't. People who struggle with names often think in a highly associative way. They remember stories, emotions, and visual details. They might recall exactly what someone wore or said years ago, but still forget their name. Their brain focused on the experience, not the label, and that's not a flaw. It's just a different way of processing information. In fact, it often comes with strengths like deeper listening, emotional awareness, and stronger connection to meaningful details. Of course, there are ways to improve. Repeating someone's name, linking it to something familiar, or creating a mental image can help. These methods work because they give the name meaning, something your brain can latch onto. But the important part is this. Forgetting names doesn't mean you're dismissive or uncaring. It simply means your brain prioritizes differently. It gets caught up in thoughts, emotions, and context, and sometimes misses the least meaningful detail, the label. Because in the end, a name is just a sound. What truly matters, the person behind it. That's what your mind is actually holding on to.